It's draft week. My next guest, a national champion for the University of West Florida. Then he parlayed that to Western Kentucky, where he led all of college football in passing yards his junior year. And how many touchdowns? 83 total over his last 2 seasons. Austin, we kind of already met, but we have to do this like formality TV thing. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Are you a big Chipotle guy?
A little bit. I wouldn't say I regularly get it. I like Cava more. You know,
Cava's delicious.
Oh, that's the one that we've been getting a lot lately. I like that one a lot.
I feel like Cava is bougie Chipotle.
Yeah, that makes sense that my fiance introduced it to me then, because I didn't know what it was until we got together. So yeah.
Congratulations on your engagement. Your now fiance, Peyton, the beautiful
Ooh.
Peyton. How lovely. 1 to 10, how nervous were you in this moment?
To be honest with you, probably like a 1.
Oh.
Because we had talked about it a lot. And, I'm gonna put her on blast here. The night before I proposed, she looked at me and she said, "Last night of us being not engaged." So nothing gets past her. She knew it was coming. I knew what I was doing, so it was one of those things.
How did she know?
She knows everything. Nothing gets by this woman. I swear, nothing.
Does she know where you're being drafted?
I wish she knew that. That would save a lot of stress in our household for sure.
What is it like for her? Let's talk about that since you're so open about it. Like, what is it like for Peyton not knowing where you're going to be? But now it's here. But for months and months, you have no idea.
Sure, yeah. She's a trooper. I give her a ton of credit. She has been very big about like, hey, this is your journey. I enjoy watching you chase this, and that brings me a lot of joy. And, I feel bad about the part that, it's a lot of just, I don't know where we're going to be and I don't know what we're going to do. And there's a lot of you just kind of sitting around following me. But I give her a ton of credit in who she is and the woman that she is. And one of the reasons I felt very confident in spending the rest of my life with her.
Oh, my gosh. Well, congratulations. I'm going to start tearing up here, Matthew McConaughey, a.k.a. Austin Reed. And I think you have some mahogany teakwood candles coming your way on your registry from Malachi Corley for your wedding, whenever that is. I not only love your love story, I love your story. And you said that Peyton said it's your journey, and I'm here to support it. Let's talk about that journey. Senior year high school, you attend Southern Illinois, you don't play, you transfer to West Florida, you win yourself a natty, no big deal. You get to Western Kentucky, you lead the nation in passing yards, like I already said. This isn't a typical route to the NFL. What's the thing that you've learned most about yourself through that time?
Yeah, I've always felt that I'm a really resilient person and somebody that is able to withstand adversity and somebody who can just make things work no matter what. And that's why I feel like I've really proven to myself in this journey. I made a comment when I was at the Combine that I was probably the least likely candidate to be at the NFL Combine. And that's probably something I take a lot of pride in, though, because it's something where I feel I don't know if anyone else who had been on the journey that I am in would be able to withstand all of it and still make it to this level and have a chance to play in the National Football League. So, I'm really proud of myself just being able to be able to handle all of that and never really doubt what the Lord's plan for my life is and continue to push through.
I think resiliency is a really important word, especially on the NFL level, and I think that'll play really well for you wherever you might go. When you win the national championship at West Florida, I would imagine you're thinking one of the big Florida schools are going to call. So when I say the names Geno Smith, Lamar Jackson, Austin Reed, like, is there a common thread there? What's the common thread there?
Yeah, I think as a whole, you see that sometimes the Florida schools don't recruit in-state. That's why it was pretty awesome to see Jordan Travis do what he did at Florida State this past year. He and I are friends, so it was cool to see him do that. I think a lot of Florida quarterbacks kind of feel that sentiment and say, okay, then we're going to have to go somewhere else and produce in a different state. And so obviously Geno did at West Virginia, and what Lamar did going up to Louisville and what he's done in the league is spectacular. And so I think there is that theme from Florida quarterbacks, and there is a little bit of spite in that. But, I think at the end of the day, the Lord places all of us exactly where we needed to be. And so I truly believe, Geno probably had to be in West Virginia to succeed. Lamar had to be at Louisville, and I had to be in Pensacola and Bowling Green, Kentucky. So you just have to trust that.
Now, you weren't an Elite 11 guy, but Florida guys like yourself, Anthony Richardson, Georgia quarterback Carson Beck, they really made a name for Denny Thompson, 6 points in North Florida. What is it about the guys coming out of there that has made it such a success?
Yeah, I think one of those things that drives all quarterbacks in general is just that desire to compete. I think quarterbacks are probably the most competitive people on the field, in my opinion. And I think when you see multiple guys coming out of that, program succeed, it drives you to also want to succeed. You don't want to be left behind. You don't want to feel like the guy who didn't make it out of that group. And so obviously you've seen what Ant has done, and his story is incredible. And you see what Carson's doing at Georgia, and, Mac was training with us for a while. And so, it's one of those things where if you have that inner desire, you don't want to be the guy who's left out and the guy who didn't succeed from that group. And so I think along with the training that we received, it's just kind of like that desire to be successful.
And I did some digging, if you'll let me show you this 20-year-old Austin Reed who really seemed to know that some big things were on the way. Take a look at this. Oh, I don't hear the sound.
You want your kids out there, these are the rules of life at quarterback job. Ball security is job security. That's number one.
What's number two?
Number two is you can't make the club in the tub, all right? So you gotta be stretching. You gotta be doing everything you can to stay healthy, all right? That's it. There it is. Watch feet in my DNA!
Who is that guy?
I was a much younger, much more energetic, a little bit of an idiot Austin Reed, but that was when I was a lot younger and a lot more maybe naive. But yeah, I Coach Coop had taught me those two rules, and I kind of stuck with those ever since. And yeah, I've always had fun with football, though. It's always been something that I enjoy, and it's something that, I feel like if you're not enjoying it, you're not bringing life to it. It's not something that you should be doing. And, that's always something I've done as a quarterback, is I bring life to what I'm doing. And yeah, those were COVID times when we were out there training every day, and we didn't know when we were going back to school, but it was fun for sure.
You played in this, fun. I like that guy, by the way. Don't lose, get mature and all that stuff, but don't lose with that guy. We want that guy in the NFL. Those are the best stories to root for. And it had to be fun playing in the air raid offense at Western Kentucky, and you did it really successfully. But it can be tough to sort of showcase what you'd look like in an NFL system. But then again, Patrick Mahomes, say less. If I'm an NFL GM right now and I'm looking at the tape, why am I walking away saying to myself, this guy is way more than just that offense?
Yeah, I think the biggest, skill that an NFL quarterback can have is mental processing. I think processing speed's is the greatest indicator of whether a quarterback's going to be successful or not. You can have a great arm, you can have great feet, you can be the strongest, most athletic guy, but if you can't process what's going on in the field, especially in the NFL where so much is moving and you have to be able to identify what a defense is doing and where they're going, I think you can't be successful. So for me, I think my tape shows that. I think it shows the decision-making I make quickly. I think it shows that I can process a field very quickly. There's a lot of times where I'm not even looking one direction on the field, and I come back to the other side and I throw a touchdown 50 yards down the field. And so I think that mental processing is there. I think it's obviously different schemes of such and not the same kind of offense, so to speak, but like you can see the mental processing there, and you can see me going from read to read pretty quickly.
I love that. That was a very detailed answer. I appreciate that so much. And speaking of guys who played in the air raid offense, I saw this photo of you and Caleb Williams at the Combine. Why do you have him laughing? What's going on here?
See, Caleb and I met like a month ago. He came down here to draft prep, and, I've taken him under my wing. I've taken Caleb under my wing, kind of showed him the ropes, the helping the guy during draft process. But yeah, Caleb and I just mess around all the time. 90% of the time we're poking at each other, digging at each other. So I probably insulted him about something, made fun of him about something that somebody said on social media, but that's the relationship he and I have. I think that's why we have a great relationship. I don't take him seriously. I don't care that he's Caleb, and I think he respects that. And that's probably what's going on.
Is there a thing? Because like with the number, it's kind of the anointed #1 overall pick. I think like Sam had it, even though he didn't end up going there, Sam Darnold. But like, is there an air like when you're at the Combine or at these things that's like, whoa, that's the guy, that's the #1? Is that a thing that exists?
Yeah, I think for other people, like I said, obviously I didn't because I know him, but like I did, he walked in a room and people were like, oh man, like, and then people were asking for pictures. And I was like, come over here, bro. Come take some photos. Like you can take a selfie or two with these people. And he did. And again, I have good things to say about Caleb because of our time together. And yeah, he definitely walks with a little bit of something to him, which you should when you're the #1 guy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture, and I think you're just reminding him who led the whole game in passing in 2022.
Yeah, I think I was reminding him in 2022 who was first and who was third in passing yards. Is probably what happened.
Yes, he was third, and I believe Michael Penix is second, though I don't think I need to remind you of that. You seem to have the numbers down pat. I guess here's where I'm confused on you a little bit, Austin. Just the fact that that's true, 2022, all of your success, the way you're talked about, your mental reads. Why would you ever say that you're the least likely to be here? Why would you ever say that?
I would say probably just based on how I was recruited out of high school, having to go FCS and then Division II. I would say in the sense of my path and the past, I wouldn't say now. I'll say it because I believe in myself. I think I'm as good as anyone in this draft. I think that I can start in the NFL. I think that one day I will be successful in this league. And that kind of comes from my path is, I probably wasn't expected to be what I was in college football, and I'm probably not expected to be anything in the NFL. But again, I trust in the Lord with a lot of things in my life. And I really do believe he has called me to do this and that there's something bigger planned for me in the NFL. And so I believe one day I'll be successful. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be a year from now, 2-3 years from now, but I know at some point it'll come because I have that faith.
Austin, that's the answer I wanted to hear. We appreciate your time so much. Enjoy every minute. God is good. Enjoy it, and we'll see where you land this weekend. I can't believe it's this weekend. I literally can't believe it.
Thank goodness it's this weekend.
Enjoy it. Congrats to you and Peyton, and a lifelong, beautiful, just life of all the happiness that you can imagine.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Austin.